The craziest thing just happened to me before I sat down to film this video. I was walking through the yard here and I went to the kitchen to make a quick little salad for lunch, and I felt like tickling on my back. So I look over my shoulder and there was, like, not even joking, 200, 300 tiny little freshly hatched spiders all over, and they were like running to the front, running down my back, running down my shirt. They were everywhere, and like some of them were like leaping off with like little webs. It was intense. That was a lot of baby spiders on me, so I must have walked through a web or something and not noticed, and all these newly hatched babies just ended up on me. I don't love spiders, so yeah, that was a little something. Aside from the small spiders, it's also mango season here, so there are literally mangoes falling all over the place. There's so many mangoes. They're just everywhere. And over here, all over there. It's a little intimidating when you're walking through all these trees because mangoes drop at any time, and I'm really worried a mango's gonna fall on my head. But up until now it hasn't happened. But yeah, you can always hear them. 2020, hey? 2020 has been a year. 2020 has definitely been a year with ups and downs and challenges and, you know, so much more than just your regular year, as we all know. I think we've all kind of rolled with the punches as best as we could, because that's all we could do, really. There's no way out. You can only go through. Yeah. Here we are. Let's get right into my 20 lessons or takeaways from 2020. I figured 20 was a good number because it goes with 2020, so that's why I picked 20, and I'm pretty sure I had more lessons than that. These are just my takeaways. They may or may not resonate with you. You would probably have different takeaways, different lessons, different perception of this year, but this is just my lessons and my takeaways that I want to share with you, and hopefully maybe you can relate or have some aha moments or maybe some takeaways. The year started off strong for me, and you know, this was before we knew how things were going to actually turn out, but my first biggest lesson was sometimes you just have to block out the noise in your head and the noise around you and go after your goals and take that leap of faith. The hardest part is getting off the edge, and the hardest part is taking that first step, but once you do it, once you're off the edge, there's nowhere to go but to keep going with it. So just drown everything out and do it. Get out there, do what you need to do. Clean up your energy space and remove all toxicity. This is what I've been doing now, not just in 2020, but also in 2019, but even more so this year. I was just like clean, cut anything or anyone that's bringing me down, that's not good for my mental state, for my mental health, and for my overall well-being. If it's not good for you, get rid of it, because as soon as you clean up your energy space, you make room for new and more awesome and high vibe energy to come into your life. Other people's opinions and judgments do not dictate who you are. I mean, people can say what they want to say, but at the end of the day, it's your life, and you got to do you and live according to your own values. Nobody else can tell you how to live your life, or, you know, that you should do it this way or that way, because unless you're trying to live your life like them, you don't even need to listen to it. Just do you and live according to your values and integrity. Tell your journal, not other people. This was a huge one for me. I started journaling a lot this year, and I absolutely love it because you can vent to your journal and tell your journal anything you want, and your journal is never going to hold it against you in the future and is never going to judge you for it. But sometimes when you tell other people down the line, they can use things against you. You know, when you're having a hard time, sometimes it's like when you're low, they push you lower, they can take advantage of that. Just don't tell them, just tell your journal. Letting go will set you free. I feel like we're always trying to put the weight of the world on our shoulders. Our shoulders were not meant to hold the weight of the world. So just let it go, because you're going to feel so much freer. Just let go of all the stress, let go of the self-judgment, just let it go and be free. Music makes everything better. Like, you can't tell me that singing and dancing does not make you feel good, because it makes you feel real good. Embrace the struggle, because, you know, the struggle is real. There's always going to be struggles, and unless you embrace it, you're just going to be in resistance and make life harder for yourself. So definitely I say Embrace the struggle. It builds character, makes you stronger, makes you ready for the next level of life. Read as much as you can and as often as you can. I have wanted to get into reading books again for the last few years because I used to be so good at it when I was younger, and then I got into this bad habit of like starting a book and then not finishing the book and just starting all these books and never finishing them. But 2020 has been different. 2020 has been the year of me finishing books and learning so much, and it's been amazing. So read, absorb, be a sponge. Live in the moment, this moment right here, and live in a state of gratitude, because the more we're grateful for, the more life gives us to be grateful for. And in every moment, and every moment is all that we actually have, there's always something to be grateful for. Your words and your thoughts are so powerful. What you say and what you think is what you bring into your life. So only talk about what it is that you want and think about what it is that you want. Don't focus on what you don't want, because then you're going to bring in what you don't want. Focus on what you want and you're going to attract that. Remember, you cannot control everything. So stop trying to control everything. Just control what you can. The biggest thing is like control your emotions and your reactions to situations, because that's pretty much all we can control. We can control a little bit of other things, but really not a lot. So just control those emotions. Keep yourself in check. You got this. Nature is a non-negotiable. Energy flows where nature grows. That is where health and healing happens, because we are all one. We're all connected. We're a part of this earth, and we need Mother Nature. And we need to be around her and in her. And you know, if you can't hug people, hug a tree. Helping others will enrich your life and make you feel like you have purpose. Because in times like this year, it's so easy for us to feel lost and we have no purpose. And it's like, what are we here for? But if you just help other people, be of service. It doesn't have to be with money. It could be with time, with energy. Just do good for others. Help bring other people up, and it's going to make you feel so alive, so on purpose. And yeah, give you a reason to keep going. Me time and self-reflection. So important. I can't stress that enough. When you spend time with yourself and you really go inside, that is your time to get to know yourself, to dig a little deeper. And it can be uncomfortable being alone. A lot of people do have a hard time being alone. But let me tell you, when you learn to be alone, a whole new world opens up to you, and you elevate higher and you become a better version of you to be a better person for everyone around you. There are only obstacles if we choose to see it that way. I think that speaks for itself. I mean, everything is about perception. I just don't look at it like it's such a big challenge. Look at it like, oh, how can I get around this little, speed bump, this little hurdle? I mean, life is an obstacle course, but don't look at it like it's fun and you're always going to find a way to get past it. No matter how hard things get, always push yourself to just take one more step, just one more. And it's amazing how these one more steps add up, and then suddenly you're at your destination. But if you take it one step at a time, it makes it so much easier. Healing is a process, not an event. I had a big reminder of this year because, I had a few health problems and it took me a while to overcome it. And the thing is, I had to also take it day by day, one step at a time, and remember to be easy on myself, because healing doesn't happen overnight. So sometimes it feels like we're not making progress, but we are. Sometimes things get worse before they get better, but you're gonna get there. So just remember that healing is a process, not an event. Listen to your intuition when it is talking to you, because your intuition is nudges from life telling you where to go and where you're meant to be. I have ended up in places this year that I never expected, and I just just keeps going, and I'm like, okay, just trusting life, trusting my intuition and my internal guidance that I am exactly where I'm meant to be, and amazing things do keep unfolding. So trust that inner voice. Listen to it when it calls. This was a big one. When it looks like the road is ending, it is actually only beginning. That's the truth. When we're down one path, taking one mode of transportation, and suddenly it stops, and then the road completely changes into something else. There's a sea. Well, you just have to switch up your mode of transportation because your destination is still there. Just remember, it's not an end. It's just a beginning. Use your imagination, because, there's always a way. The world is not a scary place. as opposed to what we're being told. The world is not scary. I mean, yes, we're dealing with serious situation here. And yes, we have to take precautions. And yes, we have to listen to what the governments where we are telling us to do, because it's for our own safety and for the safety of others. As long as you're following the laws and the guidelines, don't be afraid, because there's nothing worse than letting them instill fear into us, than listening to what the media is saying and then suddenly being afraid of life, afraid of living, afraid of people. If there's one thing I learned this year, and I've experienced life in a few places this year, is that life is not scary and you don't need to be afraid of people. Yes, take precautions, but don't live in fear. Life is still so, so beautiful. And well, when all else fails, eat some fruit. Maybe get a mango. It is tasty. It's super juicy. They're like the messiest treat right now. But the cat is also visiting me. Hi, babies. Guys, please let me know in the comments below, what were your takeaways from this year? Did you learn any lessons? You know, what was your biggest realization? I would just love to hear from you and get the conversation started, because bringing people together is so, so important, and creating an amazing community of like-minded individuals that boost each other up is also incredibly important. Mangoes. I think after this being in the season of mangoes, where they're raining from heaven, I'm probably not gonna want a mango for a long time. Definitely, I'll probably just need to take a break and eat some other fruit. Right now I'm not even buying fruit, I'm just eating mangoes off the ground. I mean, why wouldn't you, right? Why wouldn't you? So good. Oh yeah, here's one more little nugget for ya. A little lesson, a big learning curve that I had this year, and for some of you this could be the biggest one. I could be saving you from a very grave mistake. If you get an at-home laser hair remover and you feel the need to shave off your sideburns, your female sideburns, don't do it. Don't do it, because I did it and it took most of the year for me to grow them back, and it got awkward. Ponytails were just a disaster and it wasn't fun. So yeah, if I could say like one of the biggest things I learned this year, don't shave off your sideburns. And before you go, please give my video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget the bell, because if you don't hit that bell, you won't know when I post a video. We'll see you soon, guys.